Hi, my name is Taylor. I moved here from Minnesota to California, and I go to Cathedral in South Bay. So how I came to church, so I was actually entering a really dark season in my life. I had a really low view of myself. I didn't have a lot of, I had kind of issues with self-identity. I just felt really lost and low, and I didn't really know who I was or what I was supposed to do. And then I started working at a really high pressure job. And I think when high pressure meets things that you're battling internally, it comes out and you start to kind of just hit a little bit of a rock bottom. So I moved to California and I started to apply for jobs on Rodeo. And my boss actually at work is Jason Nava. And I remember one day he actually had asked me if I had a relationship with Jesus. And I was like, yeah. It kind of like caught me off guard because I knew who Jesus was, but I didn't have a relationship with him. I didn't know the depth of what was awaiting me. And I remember that I was watching an interview and these two girls had started, they wrote a book. It was a devotional. And they were talking about in an interview how they met, and they met at a Bible study. And I remember thinking I should join a Bible study. I think that's where I need to find friends. It's a Bible study. And I remember I shared this, and Jason had said, you need to find a church first. He invited me to Cathedral, and I remember I came that day. It was Pentecost Sunday. Jake was speaking. The sermon was Working with a Whisper. And I just remember they started the day with so much prayer. The message spoke to me in my situation in my heart. There was an altar call at the end of service, a call to salvation. He said it's gonna take a lot of courage, but I want you to do it and to meet Jesus here. So then he had shared what that meant. And he said, on the count of 3, I'm going to ask you to raise your hand. And so I raised my hand and I went up and they prayed for me and everyone surrounded me and they were so welcoming. And it was just such a beautiful moment. And I remember Shelby Garcia came running up to me and she was like, congratulations, sister, welcome. And it was just so amazing and just started introducing me to everyone. And she was like, you should, we have a Bible study on Wednesdays. You should come. And like, what? I've been looking for a Bible study. That's amazing. And she's like, yeah, it's, we meet on Wednesdays. And I'm like, I'm off work on Wednesdays. That's perfect. Like, I'll come. And she said, Kaylee and Caleb, they host it. They're from Minnesota. You'll love them. And I said, I'm from Minnesota. That's so cool. And so it's just all these things that God was kind of just revealing how he saw where I was, and he saw what I was experiencing, and he knew what the desires of my heart were. And he was just placing that in front of me within the people of Cathedral. My brother Ian, he was recently taken to the hospital for 2 brain tumors that they found in the back of his head. He ended up having to get brain surgery, and they removed part of his skull to remove one of the tumors. And when he went into surgery, it was pretty cool because we had all come together as a community in prayer. And so we've just been praying for him to encounter the Holy Spirit and for his heart to soften and meet Jesus. And then we got the results on Monday that it was actually cancer in his brain, in the tumor that they removed, but they caught it really early. First we got the news, it was really heavy, but it felt like when we're sitting there in that moment and we're taking in this news and we feel so heartbroken and shocked and my brother, he has special needs and he's had complications since he was a baby. And then we got another update from one of the doctors that the tumor on the left is actually, they think, is benign, which is incredible. And he'll be going through a series of radiation and chemotherapy. And this morning they went to go visit Ian in the hospital, and he had shared with my mom. There was an evangelist that came on the TV and she was talking about Jesus. And he stayed watching it and listened and he didn't shut it down. And he said, I need to talk to Taylor. I want to talk to Taylor. I want her to come home so I can hear about this from her. It felt like God had equipped me this past year for such a time as this. I'm just so grateful for our church because they've been praying so fervently, and they've been so
dedicated to me and my family, and God can really change your life. And it's not only your life, it's your family's life. It's, it's the people around you, and the community that he placed in my life. And I'm so grateful. And it's just amazing. And I can't wait to see what he does in the future. It's really cool.